Our next speaker is Dr. Lina from Shanghai Jiao University. She is an associate professor at the university. She's going to talk about the R&D of highly efficient catalysts for PEM water electrolysis. The Center of Hydrogen Energy of Shanghai Jiao University, and what we have been doing with regard to PEM-WE, or electrolysis of seawater. Agenda covers 4 topics. First, I'm going to introduce research background. Then I'm going to talk about design of the materials, including the catalysts, and also I'm going to talk about high efficiency OER catalysts for PEM-WE, followed by a summary, an overview of Shanghai Jiao University Center of Hydrogen Energy, as well as some of our research results. The center was founded in June 2018. It is a cross-platform, or it is a school-level cross-platform center of hydrogen science. We want to build an integrated center for interdisciplinary research and innovative training. We want to make ourselves having international influence in terms of being a center for hydrogen research. So we rely on China's national strategy of hydrogen development, and we try to address some of the key needs of our nation, and we try to address some of the cutting-edge problems around the world, and we want to contribute to people's well-being, and we want to contribute to scientific development. So after 3 years of development in 2021, we were given this title of Key Center of Hydrogen Research in Shanghai, and we are the first in China to offer courses related to hydrogen science. And for several consecutive years, within just a couple of years, we held 4 academic seminars regarding hydrogen science, including 3 international seminars, and together with 10 well-known science and research institutes in and of China, we have established long-term partnership, and we have also held over 60 educational sessions and events about hydrogen technology and science, with coverage of over 1 million audience, and we received 208 million in funds, and we have compiled several Chinese and English publications, and we have publications in over 200 papers on famous Chinese and international publications, including on science and nature. We have won several awards, including awards with regard to science technology advancement. So this is a slide showing you some of our research results, including low platinum catalysts as well as hydrogen fuel cell that are published also on Nature. We also have work on high efficiency water electrolysis and high density storage of hydrogen. Our research also includes the integrated system of hydrogen storage and the thermal storage. We also have hydrogen medicine, which is a featured topic of our center, and we also have a hydrogen agriculture combination with some solid results, including hydrogen rice and hydrogen fruit. Our research also includes the detection system of hydrogen and storage and transportation system of hydrogen. Regarding storage and transportation system of hydrogen, we are able to achieve tonnage level with tonnage scale sampling line. We also have some commercial results from our R&D in terms of our hydrogen medicine. We also have some research results already being commercialized. In terms of our team, we have an innovative team, we have a core team. We also have young Changjiang scholars that are very famous in China. We also have foreign talents as well as talents coming back to China from overseas. We also have cross-disciplinary research team led by Honorable Academician Ding Wenjiang. We also have experts that are at national and municipal and provincial level. In other words, we have a very strong team for the commercialization of R&D results. This is the overall architecture of our center. So we are led by Academician Ding Wenjiang, but our executive deputy director is Professor Deng Tao, and the Deputy Director, Professor Zhou Jianxin, and the Office Director, Dr. Yang Haiyan. We have a strong academic committee composed of several academicians and professors and associate professors. In 3 years, it's mentioned that we were awarded as a key center of research of hydrogen in Shanghai. Our plan is that in the next 5 years, we will become a nationally key center for hydrogen research, and in the next couple of years, we will make our center of international influence in terms of the research of hydrogen and hydrogen-related innovations. So our goal is to turn renewable energy to generate power, and power will be transmitted to end users via such networks, via grids. As for excess power, we store them. We can use lithium-ion batteries, but that will come at a higher cost. There's another way to store excess energy, which is to turn them into hydrogen and store them in the form of energy for a longer time at lower cost, which represents an effective way of energy storage going forward. So how can we turn excess electricity into hydrogen? Well, that relates to water hydrolysis technology, and here I've listed 4 typical cases of water hydrolysis. The first one being PMWE, and the second is AMWE. Third one is AWE, and the fourth one is SOE. So the first one is something that you are very familiar with, using PEM electrolyzer. Well, the working mechanism or the working principle is that water enters anodes and they will be released oxygen. Oxygen will be released to generate proton. Proton passes to the cathode and hydrogen is released as a result. The advantages is that the hydrogen generated in this way is of high purity, and the energy density or the current density is high. Outside China, on the 2 voltage, the purity is very good, and the system is of compact design with fast response time, less than 5 seconds, so it's highly compatible with intermittent renewable energy. It has the only disadvantage is that it has to use PEM or PGM catalyst, which is expensive. The second technology is AMWE. The advantages are it's compatible with intermittent renewable energy, it's PGM-free catalyst, and the way it works is shown on the scheme on the slide. Its disadvantages are unstable memory, and it has very short lifetime. So as mentioned, that the memory is very unstable, it's still in lab R&D phase. The third technology is AWE, be it anode or cathode side, they are both liquid. So the advantages of this technology is that the PGM is PGM-free catalyst, so it comes at low cost of the sale. But the disadvantages include they are incompatible with intermittent renewable energy and has high corrosive effect of liquid electrolyte at hand temperature. It's not environmentally friendly, and the fourth technological pathway is SOE at temperature 500 to 600, and steam enters the cathode side to release hydrogen, and also generates oxygen ions all the way to anode to generate hydrogen. Its advantages are it has favorable thermodynamics and reaction kinetics. It's very good in terms of integration with downstream chemical synthesis. Its disadvantages include that it has very unstable catalyst. It comes at high cost, and it has very unstable ceramic membrane. So it's still in lab phase. So take all these factors into consideration. Our focus of research is the PEM electrolyzer. There are several technical difficulties we have to deal with. And firstly, it has very sluggish kinetics of the anode. And second, it uses high loads of precious metal. You need to bring the loading of precious metal down. And third advantage is that it's very demanding on the working environment. As a result, it represents a huge challenge to the stability of the catalyst. For us, we use PEM to do electrolysis of seawater to generate hydrogen. There are 2 ways of doing that. You can do it indirectly or directly. In terms of indirect electrolysis of seawater to produce the hydrogen, actually we combine PEM with a seawater purification system. Actually, the seawater purification system consumes a very small amount of energy. Let me just give you an example. For 1,000 hydrogen, the cost is only $3.81 US. If you add a seawater purification system, the cost goes from 3.81 to 3.83. So you can see the increase of cost is only very slightly. So in the United States and in Japan, the indirect pathway is very popular.
If we use PEM, then we need to resolve the 5 questions listed below. The first one is the use of PGM. So according to the 14th 5-year plan, now we need to reduce it from 2 to 6 milligrams to 0.3, and also we need to improve the activity of the catalyst. That is to make sure that it has to be controlled below 200 millivoltage against the background mentioned above, the use of PGM usage and then loading and the voltage requirement is listed here. And also we still have unclear catalytic reaction mechanism which needs to be further found out. And the fourth, the stability and corrosion resistance need to be further studied, and also we need MEA scale up. And if we've accomplished that, then we still have 3 challenges ahead of us. First one is low porosity and surface area. With that, it means lower efficiency in terms of transmission. And the second is high resistance between the catalyst layer and the substrate, meaning that we can't really generate large volume power. And the third is high iridium loading and low efficiency. That means that we have to further modify it to meet the requirements of the 14th 5-year plan. If we've been working with Sino Petroleum and Chemical that if we set it as 2 milligrams per square centimeter, then how much iridium loading we could manage. And the solutions, basically 2 kinds of solutions. First one is to improve its activity and also to improve the active points, the number of it. And I've listed 5 ways to improve its reactivity. First one is to make smaller particles so as to generate more contact surfaces. And second is to adopt more appropriate substrate. And the third and the fourth, we can use this kind of structure and this kind of alloy form and this transition metals to further improve its activity, and also we can use intermittent compounds to achieve that end. So how to increase the number of reactive points? Then we can use better catalyst carriers and use more porous structures or say materials so that the contact surface can be larger and it's going to be more reactions, meaning more active. Another way is direct approach, direct seawater electrolysis. So apart from all those challenges mentioned above, we have additional challenges because in the natural seawater, we have sodium, manganese, and calcium ions. All these bacteria and things may all exist in the natural seawater, then we need to help them to cross this membrane. So we need to look at the pH value on the surface of the membrane. If it is more than 3, then it will, and also it further increases with the voltage, then there is a possibility that there will be a disposition of metal oxides. And here is the area for PEM. The pH will stay stable, so there is a very small possibility for the disposition of metal oxides. However, there is another challenge, that is the ideal voltage for water splittering is 1.23 voltage, and for hydrogen, theoretically speaking, is 1.36 voltage, just a very small gap in between. So it's a very promising technology. And here, highlighted by red, is the PEM area if it is the voltage is better controlled electrodes, then the efficiency can be quite good, guaranteed. And here, for this one, in between the working voltage is 480 voltage, only 180 more. However, for PEM, the electric current is listed as here. So it cannot really it is not compatible to renewable energy system. So no approach can work for all. That is why in PEM, also in the PEM system, the possibility for calcium hydroxide disposition is quite low, but we can't 100% avoid it. So it's better that we can have a coating to prohibit these crossings of certain ions, and also to avoid the chloride to get in contact with the membrane. And also we can find some highly active catalysts to achieve this purpose, but maybe it can be less efficient. And this is the summary, or say a list of PEM's development in the next 2 years. In October 2020, there's a white paper plan in Europe which wants to encourage the development of PEM. And also in 2021, the United States also rolled out a project, $1 for 1 cubic hydrogen, and so meaning it wants to rapidly lower the cost of hydrogen production, and the American government is investing a lot in the PEM system. And for the Academy of Science and Technology, we developed this synthesis of the ultra-low iridium OER catalyst. So with this synthesis, we use some very powerful fiber precursor, and further process, so we get this catalyst here highlighted in green, and here the red is the supporting material. Is very evenly distributed on the surface of the supporting materials. It's only 2 to 3 layers thick, very thin, because it's very low energy consumption. And for the structure, it is blended. We've done RDE test to look at its activity. We know that all labs usually will turn to RDE tests. It can show that on the right is the mass activity. You can see that the activity of iridium compared with commercial iridium is 16-fold higher. And also we looked at the other material, the performance is increased by 28-fold. And here it is the use is 0.1 milligrams per square centimeter, and for the commercial one is 0.6. But the two curves blended together, that means that our material activity has been improved by at least 6-fold in this commercial iridium MEA test. And we also looked at its durability. The testing condition is 0.2 milligrams per square centimeter, and with running for 700 hours, and 0.8 ampere, and then raise the current higher to 3.4, but we didn't see any significant loss in terms of activity in this process. Here now we looked at this catalyst mechanism and characterization, both theoretically and based on in-lab practice. We can see that on the surface of a iridium catalyst there are a lot of defects, and that is why its activity has been greatly improved because of these oxygen vacancies. And also that we can see that its oxidation doesn't exceed 4, meaning that there's no loss of activity or loss of iridium. So in our system, we've suspended the loss of iridium. That's why we can maintain its activity. And also, if its usage is lower than 0.2 milligrams per square centimeter, then there will be gonna be great loss of it. But we've also avoided that as well, and also we simulated the oxide substrate and the surface structures. As we can't really go back, but if you remember that the photo on the last slide is not a stable structure, but a kind of disorderly structure. That is why it's more active. And also we did DFT simulates the reaction mechanism. The results is as shown by the graph here is a summary. We've developed this ultra-low iridium loading new catalyst with high catalytic efficiency, and it's shown very good performance in RDE test and very good performance in the other tests as well, like 6 times better than the commercialized material. And also the catalytic stability of the new catalyst is high in the aqueous assay, and it's a very good result. I'd like to say thank you to my partners and thank you all for your attention.